Howdy folks, welcome to Beach Bum Creations. This is Tom, and on this channel we will show you how to take all the items you find on the beach. The seashells, the driftwood, the seaweed, critters, everything you find on the beach. We'll show you how to turn them into lifelong memories using resin. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we'll get going. Hi folks, welcome to this episode. In this episode we're going to make a cross. This is going to be the third of three. I just made two. I made a red one out of calico scallops right here, and I made a brown one, or goldish brown, out of sunray Venus shells. So this one right here is going to be a mixture. And if you didn't see the other episodes, what I do here, I'm going to lower this camera and drop it down a little bit, get a better view here. What I do is I just print out. I go on Google and I downloaded this and printed it out. I tape it to this plastic, just protect the countertop, and then I put baking paper over the top of it. What I'll do here is I'm going to take this rope, actually what I'm going to do first, this is what I'm going to do first, is I'm going to put silicone all around the outside. I'll be using this silicone right here. This is a type of silicone that dries hard, and some of the other silicone I have, it just always is kind of spongy and tacky. It never really dries, and it sticks to the plastic here. But this one doesn't. Hot glue guns doesn't, and silicone don't stick to baking paper. So, or not silicone, resin, and glue. Nothing sticks to this. It's great. And so I'll do that, and then after I get the silicone all around the sides, I'll fill it in with resin to get the heart form, and then I'll trim it with this blue-green rope and put all kinds of shells on it. Maybe something else, I don't know yet. We'll see when we get there. Alrighty folks, I'm back. I'm going to start applying the silicone. I'm just going to try to go right around the outside edge here. Alright folks, that's got it all on there. What I'm going to do in just a moment is I'm going to get some soapy stuff and then clean up all this where I lift it and try to make it all one continuous piece so that the resin doesn't leak. I'll come right back in a moment. Alrighty folks, I'm back. I have my sponge. If you get some soapy, I just use a sponge with some dish detergent. Get some soap on your fingers, and this silicone doesn't stick to it, and you can pretty much put it anywhere you want. Alright, that looks like it'll do it. bring it in close and let you see what it looks like. See if I can get it down at, get you down at more of a level to see it. See, it's not too thick, but I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? Anyway, we'll pour some resin in it and then you'll see the shape. So I'll let this dry up harden up a little bit. This stuff hardens pretty quick. I'll let it go for about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll check it. And I'll bring you back when I get there. Be about a second or so. Alrighty folks, I'm back. I've mixed up 40 grams of part A and 20 of part B. And as you can tell by the color of it, or maybe you can, it's kind of a blue-green because I put blue-green ink in it along with some ocean blue glitter. So it's been about 3 hours since I did this. Put this silicone on there. Feels pretty good. I've been mixing this resin for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. So it's ready. So this coat is just going to be a real thin coat to see if it leaks. That's the main thing right now. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. Just want to see if there's any leaks in it. No, I just made just enough, it looks like. So far, so good. Yeah, I wanted this one more green than blue. The first one I made was blue. Alrighty, folks. That'll do it. Looks good. I don't see any leaks. Alright, I'll let this dry. Won't be back till tomorrow. I might hit this with my heat gun a few times. And as always, I will rotate the whole thing around. Every now and then I'll come in and rotate it. All right, I'll come back when it's dry. Take it off of this paper. All right, folks, it's the next morning. We're going to see how this comes off of here. In the past, it's always just peeled right off, no problem. The resin or the silicone didn't stick. So let's see. But the resin wasn't completely cured. This has been overnight, so I'm sure, I see it came right off of there, no problem. But however, you can see it's not quite cured yet, it's not hard. But once I take this off, the silicone, and let it sit for about an hour or two, it hardens up. So I'm sure it will this time too. All right, there it is. It's like always, you can see how it's shiny on this one side. This is the side that was facing up. So there you go, you can see the shine right there. But this side is completely dull. It's because that's the side that was hitting the parchment paper and it's dull. So you got to keep that in mind whenever you're doing resins, that if it's a dull surface you're pouring onto, it will become dull. It will be dull. If it's a shiny or clear, transparent thing, it'll be shiny. So, yeah. So I'm just going to let this dry for a little while, and I'll come back, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rope, and I'm going to have to sand this down. You can see, well, let me put this behind it, maybe you can see it better. You can see how rough the edges are, so I'm going to need to, I'll go around with the Dremel tool real fast and just make this all smooth around there. I mean, that'll take a second. So I'll do that, and then when this is hardened up, I'll go ahead and I'll put the blue-green rope around the edges. All right, be back in a second. All right, folks, I'm back. I decided to do this while this was still soft. I think it'll come off easier when it's soft. Let's just give it a quick go. Yeah, I don't know if it's any different. I don't think it's any different. So I'm just going to wait then, because I don't want to keep messing with this. It'll keep distorting it. So I'll just let it dry up and then I'll grind it off. It's the same. Doesn't seem to be any different. Oh, by the way, if you're ever doing any grinding, you need to have a mask on. It's very important to wear a mask when you're grinding. You don't want this resin in your lungs. So, I'll come back in a minute. Alrighty, folks, I'm back. It's a little stiffer now, so I'm gonna do a little bit more of this. All right, I think that'll do it. I just want these edges to be like perpendicular to the flat so I can glue. I'll have a nice flat surface to glue the rope to. Might need a little bit more right here. You can see it's not the right shape. So I think it doesn't really matter about that, because when the rope goes on, it's going to go where it wants to go anyway. So, okay. I'll come back in a minute. Alrighty, folks, I'm back. I'm going to glue this rope on here now. It's going to be a slow process because the sharp curves around here, so I'm going to have to hold it on a certain spot for a while. I'm also going to go too high, because when I put this on here, it doesn't really give much of a lip, so I need two of them. Should have probably used a little bit bigger round rope, but this is what I have. So anyway, I'll go ahead and start doing this. We'll see how it comes out. Okay, that's the first one. After that dries some, I'll go ahead and peel off all the spots where the glue stuck to my fingers and burnt me. So, all right, we'll let that dry up and I'll be back. All right, folks, bringing in for the final bit of putting this on. the second layer of the rope. You didn't miss much. You only missed me screaming about 5 or 6 times when I burned myself. Yeah, these edges are so sharp. This nylon rope is too springy and it wants to spring out. So you got to hold it on, and unfortunately you get the glue on you at the same time. Okay, when this dries, I'm going to come around on the inside and put silicone all around on the inside to seal it, to make sure that no resin, because I'm going to pour more resin. I'm going to put some shells in here and then pour resin over them. So I don't want the resin to leak out. So we'll give this a few minutes to dry, and we'll come back. All right, folks, I'm back, and the glue is dried. So now I'm going to apply some silicone. I'm just going to use the cheap silicone here, this general purpose, and just do it. It doesn't really need too much because the glue seemed to pretty much do it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a real thin one on here. Just going to go around it real thin. That looks pretty good, so I'll just let that dry. And the next step, I'm going to pour some clear. I'm going to put some broken seashells down there first, some little bitty broken seashells, and then pour some clear on there. And then I've got this idea. I'm going to put some rope around here, a couple right here. Can't see it. A couple right here. You see it? I can't see without my glasses. And then I think 5. I think I cut 5 for right here, going down here. So that'll dress it up a little bit. So we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, folks, I'm back. I believe the silicone is hardened up enough. It's the kind that never, ever, really, you can see right here, that part is just like rubber, never really hardens. But I think it's good enough. We're going to pour this resin on real slow to see if there's any leaks. And this here is 42 grams of part A, 21 of part B, just clear, nothing's in it. So I'm going to add some of these broken seashells right here. So we'll just go ahead and pour this in here right now. I've been mixing it for quite a while, so it's warm, it's ready. I don't see any leaks so far. Alright, that'll do it. As you saw, I didn't scrape the container. I don't like to do that, but when I do pour, I like to have some alcohol on hand, paper towel, in case I get any on my fingers. I didn't this time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I'm just going to sprinkle these shells right in here. I want a pretty heavy coat. Just want to kind of be able to see the blue a little bit through the background. These are the same ones I use on everything, except these are a little bit bigger, and I went through and got as many of the black ones out as I could. So there's just mostly white ones here. All right. that'll do it for this. I'll let this dry overnight, and we'll go from there. Okay folks, I'm back. It's the next morning. You can see the resin I poured is nice and hard now. So what I'm going to do, like I said yesterday, was to put these pieces of rope on here. So I already cut them to the length I think I need. And I'm just going to wrap them around here and then glue them just right here, because these two down here, these two up at the top, if you can see what I'm talking about, the two that are going across the top, I need those kind of split apart because I'm going to put this to come up in between them. These antennae from the lobsters. So you can see if they come all the way across, then it will make this stick way out like this, and I don't want that. I want it to more sit where it's touching up there. It won't be touching right there because this will go up here, and this will be where you hang it on the wall. It's a wall hanging, so this will be where you hang it if you want to. So anyway, this will go there, and then the other four down here are right here. So we'll get ready and start gluing this. We'll see how many times I can get burned while I'm doing this. I'll come back when there's more to see. Alright folks, I'm back. I don't know if I have any more skin after I burned myself a million times. Anyway, I got it done. I put more on the bottom than I was going to. I was only going to put 4, but then I put 6. 4 didn't look as good. So, and I got the hanger up top here. So, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put some resin on the back to make sure that this is all sealed, that it don't ever come undone. Just going to put a little bit there just for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and gather up some shells to put on here. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, folks, I've mixed up 18 grams of part A and 9 of part B. And I've been stirring it for quite a while, so it's ready. So I'm just going to pour it a little bit, you know, right on here, just to make sure that this rope never comes off. At least not in my lifetime. Especially this one here. I thought this would be enough to put a little thin coat all around here, and then I was going to sprinkle some sand on here. Just to give it some texture in the back. I think the broken seashells would be a little too big. I did it again. No light. I guess it's because I turned the music off. I don't turn the light on. Now those antennae for the lobster, that's going to be one of the last things I put on, because I still have to put on the other side all the shells. And I want to try to get at least 25 different shells on here. So we'll see how successful that is. Okay, I'm going to go pick out some shells now. All right, folks, I'm back. I'm going to clean these shells. I picked out a few. There's a few already that I've already cleaned that I was going to use on the last project, and I didn't use it. So they're out there. I'm going to use them in this one. This is what I use. It's regular old bathroom tile cleaner and toilet cleaner that you buy at the store. So I'm just going to dip it in here. That's what's in here. This is just plain water. Let's dip it in here for 3 or 4 seconds. Kills any bugs that's on it. And cleans off the calcium. Okay, that'll do it. So, I'll let these dry for a little bit. Take them into the house and see if I can get them to fit on that cross. Well, I'm back. As you can tell, I'm back. The other side is pretty dry, fairly dry. I just set these shells on here. They're not glued down yet. They're just sitting there, and I was just gonna put them on there to see what the design looked like, but they're so hard that every time you touch one, 3 others move. So it took me about an hour to get them like this. So I'm gonna pour some resin over it. I've got some mixed up right here. It's ready to go. It's there's 18 grams of part A and 9 of part B. It's just clear, and I'm just gonna dribble it over it. And all this is gonna do is just tap these down to the cross itself. That's it. It's not going to cover them, just holding them down. I want to be able to brush it on later. All right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, folks, I'm back, ready to pour this. Looks like it's a little crooked. And as always, I have some alcohol on hand, paper towel, just in case I get any on my fingers. I doubt it, because I usually get it from the stir stick, but since this stir stick is long and there's hardly any in this, actually I made too much, but better more than enough than not enough. Well, that's all I'm doing right now. I just want these just to adhere to the thing. That'll do it. It's kind of cold here today. Doesn't look like it's on there very smooth. So it's been taking a long time for this stuff to dry. I mean, we're in the dead of winter right now in Ecuador. So hopefully it'll be dry in the morning. Come back then. All right, folks, I'm back. I've mixed up 14 grams of part A and 7 of part B. I've been stirring it for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Longer than normal. And this is the final coat. I'm going to brush it on. Everything is secure on here right now when I poured it on there before. But you can see on some of it where it didn't flow, the resin didn't flow. I didn't put any right here, so it doesn't have any at all. So I'm just going to brush it on, and then this will give it one final coat that'll secure everything really good. All right, folks, that'll do it. Just let it dry now. I'll do the final video, and as always, when you're doing resin, it's good to have some alcohol or paper towel in case you get any on your hand. I didn't that time. And have a heat gun, Says, I can see there's some bubbles right there and there. I don't want to get, I want to keep the resin on this Starfish. I found with Starfish, if you don't get them really coated good with resin, they dry up and break. You just look at them and they just fall apart. And almost everything that I make, I try to make it so that you can take it outside and just hose it off, or put it in your sink and hose it off to get it when, you know, they get dirty. Especially at the beach here. I mean, it's like a sandy film in the air all the time, and it gets on everything, so I just hose it off. But if this is not really coated, it won't. It'll fall apart on you. So that's it. We'll do a final video tomorrow. Alrighty, folks, this is a cross. Item number 144. It's got a starfish on it. I'll start at the top here and see if I can't tell you what these shells are. These two right here are giant cockles. This one right here, both sides, it's a coquina. This is an auger. This here's a cowrie, and this is a different type of cowrie. Down and right in here, down in there, you can barely see it. That's a Florida rock snail. It's a turkey wing. It's a calico scallop. It's a bittersweet right here, and this is a cayenne keyhole limpet. You can't hardly see it, it's sticking at an angle. That's an alphabet cone right there. It's another calico scallop. And right here, this little one here, that's called a tiny dwarf olive. This is a crossbarred. I don't know what this one is. It's kind of an elongated one. That looks like a transfer arc right there. This is a, I can't remember, never can remember the name of this one. It's something Tagulus or something like that. I can't remember. We have some noble scallops here, a rough scallop. These are called different things too. This is called a white Irish scallop some places, or just bay scallop. Or some of these are called queen or noble or ravenel. I don't know. Who knows what they really are. This is a, there's another one of those. Looks like a true tulip, but it's called a rusty dove snail. This one right here. This is a Morton's egg cockle right here. This one I do not know the name of. I can't find a picture of it anywhere. It's a Chinese hat. This one I don't know for sure. It's a cockle of some sort. Some broad-ribbed cockle. It might be a cordita shell. I'm not sure. This is a mossy point. And I think that's it, right? I went around on the top there. Coming out is some feelers for lobster. That's it. Item number 144 is complete.